Hello, everyone. This is Joy L. Brandt here from Parenting with PTSD. Here at Parenting with PTSD, we have conversations about the long-term impacts of childhood trauma and how to manage your post-traumatic stress while parenting your kids. And today we're going to talk about when toddlers attack. And we'll outline a four-step plan for dealing with toddler tantrums. So I wanted to share first up a personal story of my experience with this. I remember the first time my son hit me, and we were in the middle of a block party, hanging out with the neighbors, and I was holding him in my arms. And out of the blue, for no apparent reason, he slapped me across the face. And in that moment, I was so flooded with a whole bunch of shame and fear and just unbelievable, transported back in time to childhood moments. And I knew I could not be anywhere near my child in that moment. So I quickly passed my child to a neighbor and said, "You need to take him right now," and ran off and started sobbing uncontrollably. And what was going through my head was, I've given birth to a monster. My child is going to grow up and become an abuser like the people who abused me when I was a child. And I was horrified and terrified. And in that moment, I didn't have any perspective because, of course, what I was experiencing was a post-traumatic stress flashback. And in the years since then, I've learned a lot, and I have realized that toddlers hitting is normal, and that a lot of toddlers go through a phase like this. But at that time, I had no perspective, and I can remember he went through this. This was the beginning of a hitting phase for him for several months. I just struggled so much during that time with anxiety, and I was afraid to leave him alone when we were with other kids, even to go to the bathroom. I was afraid that he was going to hit somebody else, and I didn't know how to deal with this. So a lot of parents in the support group that we run have been talking about this issue as well lately, struggling with dealing with this issue. For people who are living with post-traumatic stress, of course, this is the kind of situation that is going to cause a massive reaction in you and bring up your fight, flight, freeze response. So we need to have a plan in place to deal with these moments. Toddlers hit, kick, bite, scream. They do all of these things, and all of those things are horrible triggers for us. So let's take a look at a four-step plan for dealing with toddler tantrums. So step number one that is really important is just recognizing that this is normal behavior. And this is a normal developmental phase that a lot of toddlers, not all of them, but a lot of them go through. And to not have that moment that I was having of beating yourself up and thinking, oh, my child is horrible, and what have I done? I brought this demon child into the world, all of the sort of disaster type thinking that can come up when we are triggered and flooded with those emotions. So recognizing, number one, that this is completely normal behavior, and this is part of growing up, is you are acting out, or your child rather is acting out, and your response to that is going to teach them how to deal with this in the future. So the next step is for yourself to identify what is your default stress response in that moment. Are you somebody who goes into fight flight, or are you a person who goes into freeze? And I've seen a lot of parents, when dealing with toddler tantrums, will go into freeze and just literally stunned, not know what to do, not move at all. You saw in my earlier story, I was like, flight, I'm out of here. Somebody take the kid, I'm leaving. And the other one, of course, is fight, which is a perfectly normal human response to being attacked. And because of the trauma that happened in our childhoods, our brains don't know the difference between being hit by our child and being hit in the past when we were ourselves a child. So that can be a very confusing thing to have to rein in that instantaneous, instinctual response. So understand what your default response is. So step number 3 is you need to make 2 scripts for yourself. One is for you to say to yourself, and one is to say to your child. So you need to just have an automatic response in place that you say every single time this happens. So this could look something like when you're talking to your child, no, hands are not for hitting, or mouths are not for biting, or whatever's happening there. Legs are not for kicking. We don't do that. You need to stop now. And if you don't stop hitting me or hitting whoever else it is, then you're going to have to be removed from the situation. Or if it's in the case of the child hitting you, I'm going to have to leave until you can, and I'm going to go over here. And, obviously you don't want to give them a fear that you're leaving them, but, make it very clear, I'm going to go in the other room, or I'm going to lock myself in the bathroom. The bathroom, is, many parents know, is our sanctuary, right? When we need a break. And I will come back out when you are ready to be gentle with me. So you're going to say that to your toddler. And then you're going to have something that you say to yourself, or something that you do for yourself, ideally both, to help you in that moment, because your inner child, again, doesn't know the difference between what's happening now and what happened when you were a child. So you've got to help that inner child, coax them through this moment. So the script you could say to yourself is just even saying out loud, okay, so I'm feeling very triggered right now. I am not feeling safe, but I know that I am an adult now and I can make myself safe in this situation. And then you need to do something that is calming for yourself once you are in a space. So it could be, you hop off to the bathroom, you've had your talk with your toddler, lock yourself in the bathroom for a few minutes, say to yourself, okay, I am feeling triggered right now. And this helps just get that little bit of distance from what's happening and be able to look out from the outside, right? And then do something that helps you calm yourself down. I find rocking really helpful, just rocking back and forth like this. You can pat your arms. That really helps sometimes. Or I find rubbing up and down on the tops of my legs. So find a movement that's really soothing for you. If breathing exercises help you calm down, you could do some breathing exercises. So those are the sort of the calming things. Another way to get the energy out is to go the other way and put on some really loud music and dance, because this pent up energy in your body needs a place to go. So that can also be a really good tool. So you got to really, this is a sort of try things and see what works for you, right? And then once you have done that, the last step is enlist help. So this could be if you've got a partner, like a husband, a wife, whoever and is in your life, then if they are around, make sure you get them involved and let them know that this is really tough for you when this happens and you need their help. Or if you're working with a therapist, talk through this with your therapist. They can help you work through and create this plan for yourself and help you manage it as these things are coming up. Whoever is around as a support person in your life, if you've got people around you, other adults who can help you in these moments, it makes it so much easier. If you happen to have your partner in the room when this happens and say, I need your help, here's my plan, and here's how I'm going to act every time this happens. I need you on board with me. When your child is going through this phase of hitting, they really need that consistent response, that consistent boundary of this is what's going to happen every single time. So you need the other grown-ups in your life to be on board with that plan and make sure that they give that consistent response. So that's the 4 steps. Number 1, recognizing that toddlers do act out. This is perfectly normal. Number 2, identifying what your default response is. Number 3, make a script, make a plan so that you know what's going to happen every single time. This is how you're going to work through it. And number 4, enlist any help that you have, any support that you have, whoever are support people in your life who are working with your kids, get them on board and have a plan so that you're a team. You really need a team to help you get through these hard times, right? So that is my 4-step plan for when toddlers attack. And just wanted to say, be gentle with yourself as always. Whenever we're working through these things, there can be so much judgment that comes up around this. And we think that we should be able to handle things better. And we don't give ourselves the grace that all parents have a hard time dealing with toddler tantrums, but this is especially hard for parents who have childhood trauma. So that's it for me today. This is Joyelle from Parenting with PTSD. You can find us online at parentingwithptsd.com. You can find our book on Amazon. And we also have an online support group on Facebook where you can hang out and chat with other parents who are survivors of childhood trauma and share stories and share resources. Have a great day, and remember to be kind to you. Bye, everybody.